back to take 2 of this week's Blockhead U. We were having some technical challenges a few weeks ago from both my side and Ashley's side. So let's try this again. If you are new here, we have been hosting these lives for the past 26 weeks. We're just a couple of New Kids on the Block fans talking to other New Kids fans. All right. And Ashley, can you send me a request, please? And I will grab you. Okay, there we go. Oh, nope. Okay, can everybody hear me okay and see me okay? Please let me know. Accepted your request a couple times, and that's not working. Here we go. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so it wasn't just you, it was the both of us. Hopefully, we'll do better this time around.
Pray to the internet gods. Everything will
Please.
be fine.
Do you remember like a few weeks ago at like 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 your time, like Instagram went down? That was wild. That would just be our luck. Okay.
Yeah. No one could join. It was crazy.
No one could join. It was just our luck. It was unusual. But thank you everyone for coming back. Apologies for the tech issues. But I'm going to grab Jami. I hope you're in here. I'm going to grab you. And Ashley, yes. I think you were trying to say something to the room the last time I was trying to grab people. Grab Jami. Do you want to?
Trying to give our normal spiel. Make sure you follow Melanie. Make sure you follow me for all of our Blockhead lives. Blockhead U lives. Make sure you follow the little arrow up on the top. Anyone who's joining us tonight, you can find their usernames and follow them, and we encourage you to do so because everyone is part of the Blockhead U situation. I don't know.
Community?
Blockhead U
family?
Like, sure. It sounds like a t-shirt logo. Like, oh, Blockhead U family. Like, I don't know. We're not making merch, guys, okay. So it is what it is. But
no, don't worry. We're not making any merch. Okay, Jami, I have sent you the request. Okay, Jami, you're not on your computer, are you? Because you can't go live from your computer. You have to be on your phone or on your tablet. Did you let Jami know that?
Yep. Let me message her.
Because I just got a note that that Jami is unable to join. So, yeah, that might be it. What?
Okay, I'm typing to her.
Okay. And people are reporting. What? Ashley is lagging a little bit? Well, what are you going to do?
Oh, my gosh. Guys, trying our best.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, I'm gonna try to invite Jami again. Hopefully she got the message that, okay, so Jami is in the chat. Jami, are you on your mobile? Like, are you on your phone or are you on a tablet? Because those are the only ways you can join us. You can't join us live from a
I'm sorry. I mean, I have mentioned if your app is not updated, it can cause a problem too. In the past, we've experienced that people have had a hard time logging on if their app is not updated.
Okay.
On their phone.
All right. Should we, while she works on that, should we grab? I think I saw Naomi is in here.
Yes.
Okay, do you want to get started with Jami then? Sorry, with Naomi?
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think
yeah, Naomi is here. Yeah, and it's saying that Jami is unable to join.
Sorry, Jami and Heidi. We're going to start with Naomi, who's also known as Dope Nostalgia. For those of you who don't follow Dope Nostalgia, they're a great podcast that covers not only New Kids on the Block, but also other pop culture. And no, your camera's backwards.
Ring light,
Oh,
yeah.
watching The Mandalorian. Check it out.
I love it.
You know, it could be a lot worse.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
Hi, it's nice to meet you too. I think that the two of you, you and Ashley, you've met before, right?
Yes.
Have you met in real
Yes.
life?
Lucky enough to have been interviewed for Dope Nostalgia, and it was a really fun experience with my sisters. So I'm grateful for that opportunity.
Very nice.
Oh,
Yes,
we had a wonderful
having a
time.
hot flash. You know what? For anybody here in the room who hasn't met you, Naomi, can you introduce yourself and let everybody know from where you're joining?
Sure. Okay. My name's Naomi Carmack, and I'm the host of Dope Nostalgia podcast. I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat who's saying hi to me right now as well. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Woohoo!
So,
North
the home
Alberta,
of Connor McDavid. So Canada rules today.
Yep.
That's for sure. So the podcast has been going really well, and it's good to see so many friendly faces here.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, you have a lot of fans in the chat. Okay, so Naomi, can you tell us what's your Blockhead origin story? How did you become a fan? When? If you even remember?
I remember kind of. I think I was around 12 years old when it happened.
Yeah.
I think I was a little late to the party because Step by Step was already out. My best friend growing up was like, look at this CD I got. You've got to listen to these guys. Oh, this is so awesome. And then we started having sleepovers and watching Hangin' Tough Live. And then they started to grab my heart, you know, started to buy the Bop magazines and Team Beat, and they were all over my walls. And yeah, I was always was a Jordan girl too. So.
Oh, okay. When I was a kid, I was a Joe girl, and then I switched.
Switched to who are you now?
Donnie.
Donnie, nice.
Yeah. Sorry, Ashley, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say that, you know, Naomi says she was late to the party at 12, but we really celebrate anyone who's a blockhead from any age, from a couple years ago to an original. It's just cool to hear everyone's individual stories, but also there's a lot of people who started as one, bopped over to another.
Yeah.
As we
lane change.
Yeah. Swerve. I think it's called a swerve.
But there's a lot of blockheads too that didn't even discover them until the reunion. So it doesn't really matter when you joined in. I think it's just fantastic that you did. And I've never experienced the love of a fan community like this one.
Which is
the way people treat each other.
You're part of so many communities. Being your podcast is not just a New Kids podcast. It's a kind of a pulp. Well, how would you describe it? How would you describe what you do for your podcast?
It's a grand, huge love affair for all things 90s, like music-wise. Music-wise, I go for the obscure one-hit wonders, the big stars. I want to talk to everybody and talk about all of these artists and the impact that they had on us at that age, because we were in our formidable years and figuring out what we loved. So that's pretty much what it's focused on. And yes, it's very New Kids heavy.
You did an episode on, they're called the West End Girls, right? West End Girls, that's the Canadian girl group. I was like, oh my God, I wasn't just imagining it. What about Candy? Have you ever done an episode on Candy?
I am trying to get Candy. I talked to her keyboard player.
Yeah.
Candy in the backbeat, and he said he'd be interested.
This is pure Canadiana, people. Like this is Canada.
You know what would be also a really good Canadian get would be Before 4.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But those boys are not.
They're probably available.
They're busy doing something. I don't know. But it's true. Like, there's a lot of Canadian artists on the show that a lot of the Americans might not have heard of, but it's kind of cool to be able to reach an international audience showcasing all these people who influence Canadian pop culture as well.
Can we just talk a Canadian artist just for another second? What about, do you remember Too Bad to Be True, TBTBT?
Yes, I do.
Find them.
Oh, that is amazing.
That would be hard. I think I only remember one song of theirs, but they were kind of like like crisscross, kind of like these young
Who was
boys. And I think, wasn't there like 4 of them or 3 of them?
I picture them as a boy band, yes. But who was the artist who sang the song? It's just my luck. She's got someone else in mind. Do you remember that one?
I do.
And I don't remember who
Right.
it is. So you Canadians out there, if you
Okay,
know that
maybe
chorus,
Megs knows. It's just my luck.
someone just said Under a Latin Moon, which is a great Candy reference. I caught that.
Remember Joey?
So,
Joey?
yeah.
With the two E's in the accent?
Yeah. Are you actually fully lost on this right now, aren't you?
Yeah, sorry. We'll get back to the conversation that we had planned.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
so how did you get into podcasting and broadcasting?
Well, I was on a podcast with a couple friends as a guest regularly, and then I was like, wow, well, this is a fun thing to just have a conversation with your friends, maybe have some drinks, record it. Why not, right? So then I was like, okay, why don't I do something about what I'm passionate about? And that's where I started putting it together in late 2019.
Okay.
Because you want to plan things out ahead of time, have a few episodes on the go before you release it. So I started early. Sorry, were you going to say something?
No, I think it's so cool. Like, what kind of equipment did you have to buy to start, or how much preparation you had to have? Like, you thought have a couple episodes in the queue to go. Was there anything else that like kind of was interesting about starting a podcast that has become quite successful?
Thank you. Well, I had a few of the things already because I was the singer in a rock band for many years. So I had like the microphone I needed, just some of like the other equipment, just kind of like bits and pieces here and there I had acquired over the years. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this to use. I had taken a recording production course years ago. So I'm like, finally I get to use what I've learned. And then it was a matter of, okay, I'm just going to make a podcast where I talk to friends about like one-hit wonders from the 90s. That was the original thing. I wasn't even going to think about talking about the big stars.
Yeah.
But then as it grew and I started talking with friends, I'm like, what if I actually approach some of these people and see if they're free? We were just hitting 2020 and there's the talk of COVID coming, and this was before lockdown. I had already gotten about 2 or 3 episodes done, and then all of a sudden everything shut down. No musicians are traveling, no one's touring. So I was like, okay, well, we've got all this time on our hands. I'm going to reach out to people. And a lot of the celebrities were like, yeah, we're not doing anything. Let's do it. So if there was any kind of silver lining for me during that time where I was like, I was one of those people who was really scared and didn't want to leave the house. It was affecting my mental health. And the podcast gave me an outlet to still enjoy my life while being stuck inside.
Right. And connect with other people, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So
I looked up It's Just My Luck, and it was VIP.
Oh,
which sounds vaguely familiar.
What a generic name, hey?
Right? I have to go back and look at the video because I can't visualize them at all. But yeah. Nope. VIP. There we go.
I'm glad you looked that up.
Yeah.
We'll get them on the show.
Yes. After Candy.
Yeah. Yeah. Candy's would be a big get, actually, because I think there's a lot of people who want to know what she's up to.
She'd be a big get for sure. Okay, sorry, Ashley.
No, I'm like, I have no idea who you guys are talking about, but I'm going to start making lists of like, I got to check out Candy. I got to add these to my Amazon playlist to figure out who are the hot Canadian artists from the 90s. And I love it.
Alanis's first 2 albums.
Yeah,
were hot pop albums.
Pop Alanis.
Yes. You've got to check out her pop albums because we are going to do an episode on that soon. I'm just trying to gather the right information. And I want to make sure it's done well because that's a big deal.
Well, did you see the documentary, the Alanis documentary last year?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you should see it. It's on, it's an HBO one. I think I watched it on Crave. If you have Crave, it's on there. It was so good because it gets into her pop stardom and like when she was on You Can't Do That on Television. So you'd get a lot of useful information from there for sure.
Elena says never too hot. Exactly.
Right?
She knows.
Never too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are some of like your most favorite guests that you've been able to interview on your podcast?
Oh, we had Vin Rock from Naughty by Nature.
Mhm.
Yeah, shout out to Katrina for making that happen. And Alana Miles was a big one. Alana
Oh yeah.
Miles is kind of, I think people in the US have heard of her because of the song Black Velvet.
Black Velvet, yeah.
That was a big one, especially because she's one of those people that was so huge at the time, and now people were like, what happened to her? She ended up becoming partially paralyzed from like the neck, like her neck, like she can't lift her head anymore.
Yeah, I saw her on TV a few years ago performing, and I was like, huh. And then I looked it up and I saw that, yeah. I think she'd gone to the chiropractor one too many times or something like that. Yeah,
that's the story. I didn't really talk to her about that because that was kind of one of those self-explanatory things, and I don't really, I try to keep it positive.
Yeah.
But just the story she could tell about what it was like being in the music industry and how she was treated as a woman, and she dated Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. She did some stuff. Like, it was really cool talking to her. Sass Jordan, someone said. It's like Sass Jordan is on my list. Yeah. But I've approached twice and she wasn't doing interviews at those times. So one day. Yeah.
What about, do you interview exclusively musicians? Do you talk to actors?
There's been a couple of
other personalities?
episodes that weren't musicians. One of them was, I did an episode about the show Mr. Dress Up.
Yeah.
And that was with a filmmaker who was creating a documentary on Mr. Dress Up. So there's been a few one-offs that had nothing to do with music, really, just because it was something I loved. Even our Christmas episodes, like we've done a couple. One was like the Sears Christmas Wish Book, and we talked about all the toys that we circled in the back that we wanted, and then you'd put your initial next to it and then never got what you wanted.
Right.
Stuff like that. So
pure nostalgia.
There's been some there's been some stuff that's different.
Was Mr. Dress Up like Mr. Rogers in America?
Yes.
Like puppets, like very similar puppets.
Yeah.
Mr. Dress Up actually got his start working on Mr. Rogers before he came to Canada and created his own show on the CBC.
Wow. I know.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, lots of Canadian history here for you today.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sending you a whole bunch of YouTube videos. Actually, so you can like see what we're talking about here. Candy, West End Girls, Mr. Dress Up. Okay, I got it.
Our friend Grace Webb, who has joined us on the show before, always says that she's from North Dakota.
Okay.
That's what Canada is, North Dakota. So I'll say I'm from South Canada. So I need to learn about all these Canadian things that I don't know about, like Mr. Dress Up. I'm excited.
Someone commented about Mr. Dress Up being from 1967. That is true, but his show was still on into the 90s until he retired in the early 2000s. I think he passed away in 2001. So that's why I still went ahead and did a Mr. Dress Up episode. In case you were wondering, well, that's not 90s. That's why.
It's all
part of our childhood.
Yes, exactly. We grew up on it. It matters to us. So I'm
on your podcast, you've interviewed quite a few people through the music industry, obviously, especially the Canadian music industry, but you've interviewed some people who are kind of new kids adjacent. Who have been some of your favorite?
Brendan Wahlberg was on the show last year. And what I wanted to do with that is talk to him about, of course, like what it was like growing up in the family that he grew up in and doing the Wahlburgers show and everything. But I also wanted to promote his music because he's very active making his own hip hop music right now. And so I played some clips of his songs and wanted people to know where they could get it. And he was such a sweetheart, really, really cool guy to talk to. So there's Brendan. I'm still working on some people. You guys know Law, of course. Law's been on the show a couple times.
Okay.
I should have kept a list nearby because my brain's going blank. If anyone's watching who remembers who I've talked to, please tell me. But yeah, I haven't had a new kid on the show yet.
We will put it
out into the universe.
We're putting it into the universe. You will have a new kid on the show one of these days because you do great interviews and they're always entertaining and fun to watch. And in fact, I perceived that you had interviewed Joey, even though you hadn't, because I know I listened at least one time, if not two times, to your kind of breakdown of Joey McIntyre, which was from 2021.
I think so. Like the new kids episodes I've done so far, I don't want to forget any, but the very first one was with Brooke and Nikki from My So-Called Whatever. So we went through our new kids memories together. That was the original one. And then I did one with Rat Tail that we called the Not Safe for Work episode. Episode number 69. And we kind of watched some live videos of new kids together and we were drunk. And it was the first time that I had ever talked with Adrian and Chris. And we just bonded and we had an amazing time. Then I did an episode on Jordan Knight's first solo album with Amanda Knight from No More Games Radio.
Cool.
And then the Joe McIntyre one was with Raven, that Wahlburgers chick from NK Airplay. So that's where we're at.
And actually, you were on the cruise, right? On the 2022 cruise?
Yeah. That was my first cruise.
Oh, okay.
First cruise.
I remember during, I think Rat Chat, wasn't during Rat Chat that Donnie gave a shout out to the different creators who were also on the boat, and he gave like My So-Called Whatever shout out. He gave you a shout out too, right?
Yeah, he made my dreams come true. Like I was just like, after he did that, I was like shaking. I was so excited that he remembered and shouted it out. So it meant a lot to me. And I told him at the photo op the next day too. I'm like, you made my life yesterday. Thank you. So yeah, it was huge. Yeah.
It's always so nice to be recognized for like the work you're putting in. And you've done how many episodes now?
Well, Kevin just pointed out, I did do a Mariah Carey episode with you. That's correct. We are at episode 169, just coming out this week, with Angel from the Cover Girls as my guest.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and she told me some stories about when she opened, with the Cover Girls opened for new kids, just some like little fun anecdotes.
Ooh.
Nothing too spicy, just how much she loved them and stuff. So it was cute.
Okay, so before we get too far in, and normally we ask this at the end, but since you just mentioned it, you have an upcoming episode 169. Where can people find that and find your podcast as they're listening to you talk about it?
If you just go to dopenostalgia.com, all of the links are there to my social media as well as the links where you can listen. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, anywhere you want to listen to your favorite podcasts. Just search Dope Nostalgia. And our YouTube channel has a lot of the videos of some of the interviews I've done, as well as I have a featured artist playlist to show some of the music that each person who's been on the show or talked about has done. So I try to keep it all organized under dopenostalgia.com. So I would love it if you guys who are watching today give us a follow and just write me a message and say hi, and it'll be wonderful.
Well, and
all right, so that's your assignment, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're joining from the Instagram page too that has a lot of the links to all these things. So if anyone's watching, you go to the left-hand side, the little arrow down, click on that, you'll see Dope Nostalgia. Click on that. You can join and follow Naomi and all of her fun.
And
so,
all the people who are watching. Yeah, I did. The drummer, Gina Shock.
Wow.
That was a big one. That one was like, I was like nervous as hell. She was so wonderful though.
Okay, so then that feeds into my next question. Do you typically get nervous during your interviews, or like does it like depend on who the interview is? Yeah.
It depends on the first 5 minutes of the interview, really, because like that kind of sets the tone.
Right.
I'm nervous if it's somebody I've admired for years. So I kind of stick to the script in the beginning until I sense out how comfortable I feel.
Yeah.
Some people make me nervous. Some make me feel completely comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like anyone you meet, really.
Right.
One of the ones that made me nervous, I think, was Erica M, who used to be the host, one of the VJs on Much Music, because she's such an icon. Like, oh. And I was like, whenever it's like you're an interviewer interviewing an interviewer, it's kind of scary because I'm so amateur compared to someone like her.
Well, yeah, I mean everybody. She's again another Canadian icon, and for anybody who doesn't know, Much Music is, I don't even know if it's still around, but it was basically Canadian version of MTV, except it actually played music videos, and the VJs were celebrities, and Erica M was like the main lead VJ during like the 80s and the 90s. Completely iconic. Yeah, I could see how that would be like terrifying to interview her.
But like I said, once you get into it and then you feel more at ease, then it's like good to go.
Right.
And then it's fun.
So when you have your interviews, are you typically like on like Zoom, or like can you see them, or are you just like talking on a phone?
95% of them have been over Zoom, and I've had the odd one over the phone.
Okay.
Yeah. In the beginning, remember at the beginning of the pandemic, and Zoom was it was around, but it was new. And now
Well, people are still
uses
figuring it out.
100%.
So we were all trying to figure out how it worked. But so some of the interviews were on, what's that Microsoft one? Skype.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, I was.
And that one I didn't find as user friendly.
I was just wondering if seeing the person on camera adds to your nervousness or takes the edge off a little bit. Do you notice a difference?
It takes it away to see them.
Yeah,
for sure. It feels a lot better to see them. But I just wanted to say I've been reading the comments, but I haven't really responded to them. But I just want to say there's so many people here who've been so supportive of Dope Nostalgia, and they're good friends. And I just want to thank them for everything they do for me in the show and in the support. I love you guys, like for real. Thank you.
It's fun to see. Like DJ Bethy is here, obviously. She's doing a lot of comments. Jolie.
DJ Bethy's going to be my roomie this year on the cruise.
Oh. Hey.
Yeah. We're going to tear it up. Are you
Somebody
was coming?
Asking if you talked to Erica M about when she interviewed the new kids.
I didn't bring that up. No. I didn't. No, I didn't bring up new kids.
A ton of people. She's interviewed everyone, so it's probably hard to.
And she has her own podcast too, where she talks to everybody who was a VJ at Much. So you get to hear about some of the stories of like some of the people they had on that were not so impressive. For instance, I think she said one of the worst interviews she ever did was the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was horrible. She says they were terrible.
I bet.
Yeah.
Because that would have been like in the mid 90s, mid to late 90s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were acted like children. Yeah. They were completely unprofessional.
Okay, so speaking of unprofessional guests or guests that are kind of hard to wrangle, what's the most challenging part of doing a podcast, whether that's conducting the actual interviews or the logistics or scheduling people?
Oh, yeah. Definitely scheduling. Scheduling is probably the hardest part, and making sure that I get it out on time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been considering going to every 2 weeks since I'm a weekly podcast, just because life is busy.
Yeah.
But I don't know how people would feel about that. And I do this show because I love it. So it gives me that outlet. Going up to every 2 weeks would be like, no, I want to do every week.
Well, you could try it and see how it feels, but you'd probably miss it.
That is the great. Well, it's two things. It's a great thing about the post-COVID internet world that people are consuming media visually or audio at a much higher level than they ever were prior.
Sure.
Like live, not a thing. That, and then Bethy also mentioned that every Friday at 5? I don't think she specified, but your podcast actually plays on hold on, let me find her comment.
On No More Games Radio, it's on every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Radio.com, correct? And then
Yes.
they can find
NoMoreGamesRadio.com.
Yes, replaying there every week too. So for now, they can kind of catch up on your content. They can go to your podcast site. They can go to Spotify or, you know, any of the places that you can find your podcast and kind of catch up on all the great episodes. But also, you know, that's kind of a nice thing if you wanted to slow down and do every other week. There's plenty for people who are just finding you to catch up on.
Yeah.
For people who love kind of recap, plenty of comments have been about, I need to go back and watch that episode or listen to that episode.
Actually, that's a very, very good point. The fact that there's already so much of a back catalog that if you're just discovering the show, it's not like you're going to run out of material for a while.
Yeah, people aren't going to be deprived. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's been a huge labor of love for the last 3 years. So yeah. I'm not seeing an end to it. I just want to keep going with it. I have a few friends who are regular guests on the show as well. You should come on the show too, Mel. Like, that would be amazing.
It's so much fun.
Only if we can talk about Canadian stuff.
I'm totally down. That would be amazing.
Perfect. And actually, Jen was asking, who is your dream interview? I mean, I'm sure you probably have plenty, but if you could.
Okay, I'll say 3. I'll say Paula Abdul.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was such a queen to me as a child. Paula, John Bon Jovi.
Mm-hmm. Oh. He was other than New Kids, he was my first, love. I would die.
They're my favorite band. Bon Jovi, rock band. They're my favorite rock band.
And some people are in the chat predicting the third.
Oh, of course it would be Jordan, but I'd be so terrified of him. Oh, man. I think Donnie would be easier to talk to, and I'd love to talk to Donnie. I was going to say Donnie is number 3, actually, because I think our conversation would be amazing. He'd have so much awesomeness to share, good stories. And yes, I want to interview Jordan, too. We all probably heard him on Frosted Tips a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Right? And it was I was so happy with that interview too.
Well, you know what? He said that he frequents YouTube, so maybe he's watching and listening to your episodes on YouTube. Maybe he stumbled across them there.
The first thing I was thinking about when he talked about YouTube, it was he better be watching Rat Tail. He's got to be watching Rat Tail.
You think about the hierarchy of content creators in the New Kids world, and like Donnie mentioned you on the cruise this year or last year. I said, I don't know what day it is, but Dope Nostalgia is known as being a very high focused pop culture and New Kids commentary. Mm-hmm. I would think Jordan's seen your show or heard it. Yeah, would that be cool?
I don't know what you. Oh, that weird. We get pretty thirsty though. I don't know if I want him to see.
It's his fault.
It is his fault. You're correct.
You don't do the whole shirt every concert for 35 years.
That's what I'm about to say. Then keep your shirt buttoned up and don't, gyrate in front of a fan.
He knows what we want. Exactly. So if we weren't thirsty, he'd probably be wondering what he's doing anymore. So I get it.
You mentioned that you're going on the cruise this year. It'll be your second cruise. Do you have any other New Kids related things lined up?
BlockCon. Oh! Are you ladies coming to BlockCon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. I'm so excited to see you both. And are you both coming on the cruise too?
Yeah.
We're gonna have a good year. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But you know what? That's a long ways away. and I can wait. I'm happy for, I just want to enjoy the summer, but I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I've still got money to make and shoes to buy and outfits to get prepared for and all that. We all do,
Yeah.
To plan for. It's interesting that like BlockCon is kind of the big thing, and it's at May, and then you swing over to October. So it's kind of like you just start off your summer, enjoy your summer, and then get back into it. Like just go hard.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And especially Canadian summer being so short, we got to enjoy that before the snow falls again. So yeah.
Exactly. We really have to bask in it.
Mm-hmm.
So as a New Kids fan, what has been your New Kids legendary moment so far?
Ooh. Well, the shout out on the boat from Donnie was probably one of the most exciting things that have ever happened to me, New Kids wise. I did meet Jordan at one of his solo shows in 2006.
Oh, okay.
But he was, I got a couple good hugs then, but he was still very, very quiet, just like he always is. I think that's just his personality.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me because
you saw him.
He was playing a show at Nate, one of the colleges here. It was when The Fix came out, his solo EP.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love that album. Like, it's so naughty.
Again, his fault.
It's all his fault. It's completely. So that was a cool time too, because I got a really nice picture with him. And I couldn't think of anything cool to say at all, but it was nice. I got him. He signed a picture for me and took a photo with me. But I would say the best part of the whole fandom thing for New Kids is all the friends.
Yeah. I
know you've heard of them a million times before, but it's all the friends we've made in the circle. Like, everybody is supportive of each other. And it's nice to have people in your life that you can talk about your do I want to say obsession? Your New Kids love with, because there's a lot of people in our lives that don't get it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's nice to have that group of people that we can like post like a cute picture of Donnie doing something awesome and everyone's like, yay! And yeah, I love that.
We came for the boys, we stay for our friends.
They're just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say just the. They're not just the, but they are the icing on the cake of all of this friendship and love we have as a group. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so we've said it before, but we'll say it again for everyone who's joining us. Thank you, everyone, for being here. But how can everyone find Dope Nostalgia and yourself on all of the places? Because you're everywhere.
All of the places are just linked on dopenostalgia.com. So you just go to the website and all the links there for everything. I'd love to get you guys talking with me and, communicating and listening to the show. And I also like to have other podcast hosts and stuff on the show, and we like to exchange like our trailers and all that. So if any of you have a trailer you want me to play on the show, I'll keep it in the rotation and we can help each other out. I love doing that as well.
If somebody has an idea for an interview or a topic of conversation, are you open to that? Can people make suggestions?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Cool. But I do prefer to keep it music.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've gone off course a couple times, but if it's 90s and it's music, I'm totally down for it.
All right.
Well, and again, if anyone wants to listen, aside from all the podcast networks, you're on NK Airplay, and they're all very supportive of what you do, and you're supportive of what they do, and that's the cool thing about having you on here is like everyone, there's so many collaborators and people who we're obviously very new to this. You guys have been doing this for a long time, but we've appreciated the support that we've gotten from the other creators in the universe in different facets too. So cool to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, what? I've really admired this show and the Gacky Girls show and everything. Like I'm so happy that you asked me. Thank you. And I'll continue to follow you guys, and I want to promote you guys as well. So thank you again.
Thanks.
I loved it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's really thoughtful of you to say. And like, obviously, you know, love to connect with other Canadians because they're out there and they're not all in Toronto. Believe it or not, they're not all in Toronto or Montreal.
Yeah. That's
We're not the center of the universe. Believe it or
earlier
not.
you were talking about accents too, and I was like, I know in the West we speak differently than the East, for sure, for sure. But I have been caught saying a boot.
Well, I thought I heard
it.
a couple of oats from you, but I didn't want to. Call you out on it.
It's a real thing. I didn't know I did it, but I do. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay. And you know what? We all say it's true. It is what it is.
That is true.
All right,
true.
Naomi, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you at BlockCon in like a month and a bit. And actually, Meg just pointed out that the cruise is in 6 months. So we'll see you in 6 months on the boat as well.
It'll be here before you know it.
It will.
And we get to see the boys and have a good time together. So thank you.
All right. Take care, Naomi. Bye. Bye.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're still going. That wasn't supposed to be the start of the show.
Yes.
How much
Thank you so much, Naomi, for being so flexible as well.
Yeah. And I was just talking to Heidi. They're ready to roll.
They are?
Yeah. Heidi said they're ready under Jami's profile. And for those of you who are joining us right now, this is a crazy story. You're going to want to stick around because it's very interesting.
Okay. Hold on to your seats.
Yeah.
Here we go. Woo! I did it!
Hi,
girls. Hi.
Hi.
Okay.
We still have the giggles.
Now this is gonna be. Is there any way that you guys can get even closer? Because we just did this.
I know. We're old. We didn't know that you couldn't do it from a computer.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, there we go. There we go. You're back. We try to get into the habit of reminding everyone when we schedule each guest. By the way, you have to be on your phone or a tablet. But sometimes we forget. So thank you for bearing with us.
Thanks for putting up with us.
It's very interesting to kind of hear your story. But first, before we start, tell us who you are and where you're joining us from.
I'm Heidi, and in Des Moines at her house.
Jami, my house, Des Moines.
It
lives right across the street.
By way of Omaha, Nebraska.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've been to
I feel like
Nebraska once.
Kid she was.
What?
I was
just saying I've been to Nebraska.
Yep. I'm from there, but I moved to Des Moines. So now we live right across the street.
And we'll get into that a little bit. So visually, can you share with us your Blockhead origin story?
You know me? Okay. So I first was introduced to New Kids in summer of '88. And I think I was 12 at the time. Neighborhood kids had boom boxes. Yes, I'm that old. Outside. And we're listening to a tape. And of course, we all kind of congregated together. And somehow I ended up with the tape, which I don't remember how. But of course, listened to it all night long, had it memorized by the next day. And have loved them ever since.
And mine was probably around the same time, 88, 89. And it was, I think, on a summer vacation with my family, like my mom and dad. And they bought me the tape, Hangin' Tough. And then, of course, it all went from there. So similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how did the two of you meet?
Go ahead.
November 9th, 1990 at a New Kids on the Block concert
In Ames, Iowa.
In Ames, Iowa. And I lived in Omaha, so my mom and dad took me and two of my friends to Ames to see the concert from Omaha. And Heidi was there sitting
And one of my friends.
and one of her friends. And
We were sitting at the very
Yep.
back of the arena, up in the third tier, like all the way up at the top. And
she saw Biscuit.
somehow I had binoculars, and I don't recall how or where those came from, but apparently I had binoculars. And I saw, you need to, if I have to be here, you do too.
Yeah.
There we go.
She saw New Kids bodyguard Biscuit was at the time, and she was like, "There's Biscuit," and we were, of course, were like, "Oh my gosh, you know, where?" And then we like just started talking, and then throughout the show, we'd like look at each other and stuff, you know, and like wave. And then after the concert, we started talking, and we went down to like where the buses were, to try to wait for him. You know, we were like, you were 14, I was 13. And we exchanged addresses and phone numbers.
Yes, addresses and phone numbers. And there was no cell phones or anything like that. So somehow we found pieces of paper and a pen, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know how. But and then
somehow.
we just started, and then like we went back to the hotel. Of course, we didn't get to the buses because my parents were like, "No, you're 13 and you're not going to wait by the buses, you know, for the New Kids." And then
and it was a show that made the news because Donnie jumped into the audience. I think he was probably attempting to crowd surf, but this is when Donnie was a little, you know, they were wild and crazy and young, and he jumped into the audience. He got hurt and hurt a bunch of the concert goers, and ambulances had to come, and Donnie went to the hospital, and the little girls went to the hospital.
So we have like Johnny trying to crowd surf, like on a bunch of 12-year-olds,
right? Basically,
who've never helped anyone crowd surf before. That's amazing.
Right. So, I mean, it was pretty memorable, and then after that we became pen pals.
Yep.
Literal written letter.
Yep. And
pen pals.
Yeah. And I used to like set the timer. My mom would be like, "You could call Heidi for like 20 minutes." And I would set the timer on the microwave, and then I would increase the timer on the microwave. And this was when you had to pay long distance by the minute.
I was about to
And
ask.
my mom used to get like $400 to $500 phone bills. And this was like in the 90s. So that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money
it
now.
is a lot of money now. But I had to call my, you know, that's the only thing we had. Oh, my gosh, she'd get in so much trouble for that.
Oh my
You're lucky I'm
gosh.
still here.
Did you know, like, right off the bat, like, we're going to be best friends, or did that take time to develop?
No.
No,
We
right
knew
away.
right away.
Right away.
Yeah. It was just an instantaneous click. You know, there's just some people that you meet
Yeah.
that it's the connection is just there. And the friends that she brought with her to the show and the friend that I brought with me, we're not in contact really with them anymore. It is just the two of us that have stayed in contact. But we really feel like God brought us together. Like he was like, "I know what you guys are going to go through in life, and you're going to need each other." So God gave us New Kids to give us each other.
That's so sweet.
So your friendship went from, you know, immediate, you know, connection at the concert to pen pals and phone pals, and then it evolved into like a family type situation. Can you elaborate or expand on that? And if you guys can get like a little closer, because I'm just seeing the end. There we go. Perfect.
Do you want to go?
No, I'll let you explain that one. It's your fault that it happened. Because you married him first.
So I was dating a guy. I was 17. I was dating a guy, and she would come to town pretty often to come and visit me, stay with me. And when she came to town, especially on this particular night, the first night that you met, we were going to go meet up with my guy. And my guy had an identical twin brother. And he was going to bring his twin brother. So we met up, and they were complete jerks that night. So we ditched them and went and had fun ourselves. But the spark was then lit between her and who's now my husband, his twin brother. And then many, many years of dating for her and my husband's twin. But then they finally got married. My husband and I were married very young. So my husband and I have 26 years. How many years are you guys now?
We got like 20 years together, and we'll be married 10 years this year, my husband and I. So,
Wow. So,
and they're
so essentially
identical twins.
Jami and Heidi were best friends, and they each married from different states. They married to identical twin brothers.
Yeah.
So they went from being, you know, again, fast friendship at a New Kids concert to pen pals and phone pals to sisters-in-law.
Yep. And now we live right across the street.
Directly across the street.
Directly. Like her house is right there.
I think that's probably much to the chagrin of our husbands.
Right.
I don't think they're necessarily
I don't think
fans
they
of
like
that.
it, but we don't care.
No.
So funny, because as a twin, I would love to live across the street from my twin sister, except if our husbands were friends. That would be too much.
Right.
So cute.
It's convenient if you need to borrow something, though.
Yes, very convenient. Very.
I think someone's daughter is in here, Bailey, and she's saying that rumor has it they're still jerks. The twins.
That's oldest.
Bailey. That's her oldest.
I think her daughter's in here too.
Mine's in here too.
But,
Okay.
Yeah. So and now our children are cousins, like blood relatives, actual cousins, and it's pretty cool.
But are
And
they blockheads yet?
well, the one
One
Bailey is coming to the next show with us, and it will be her first New Kids concert experience.
And which
So
show?
we're bringing a baby Blockhead to the Iowa State Fair show.
Yep.
I'll see you there.
And that's a full circle moment for me because the Iowa State Fair show was my very first show within the summer of '89. And they were opening for Tiffany. So I watched them. Now it was all a general admission show.
Wow.
Back in '89. And for whatever reason, now if you're not familiar with the Iowa State Fair, it's a massive fair. We're talking 1 million people. Like, it's huge.
Wow.
So for whatever reason, our parents just let us, she wasn't there, it was just me, but who I was with, set us loose at the fair by ourselves. Like, no parents
That's
there.
the 80s. That's
No
the 80s, right?
money, nothing.
Just
Waited
come back when
all
the street lights
long.
turn on.
Right. You know?
Yeah.
But I watched them unload their own truck, like their equipment for their own truck, and set up their stuff. And so it was really cool. So coming to the show that'll be in August will be a full circle moment for me, and I'm bringing my daughter. So
Wait, the new kids were actually unloading their own stuff?
yeah.
Oh.
Because they were opening for Tiffany.
Yeah.
They really, I mean, people were just starting to know who they were.
Yeah.
But they weren't the main act yet.
Yeah.
Even though everybody that was there to see them. But they were technically just openers for Tiffany.
Right. Wow, and they had to act as their own crew.
They did.
Wow.
And then I didn't see them, but they went out and I think they rode some rides and did some stuff, but we were all dying of heat exhaustion in line, so.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say that was me with NSYNC in 1997. It was like their first American tour to state, like not even state. It was a Minnehaha County Fair in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, like small town. They were on 2 truck beds that were like next to each other.
Yeah.
That was the stage. And it was like their first, kind of big thing. But here's my question. How old are your daughters, or how old is your daughter, Bailey, who's coming to the concert?
She just turned 26 yesterday.
Happy belated birthday.
No. Get her
But
to a New Kids
They know that they've always known their whole life that Jordan is Mommy's boyfriend. So
Okay. Of course, yeah.
familiar, and I have raised all three of my children properly.
Mhm.
They are very well versed in new kids. I've parented well.
They are.
So what have your respective like families thought of your relationship going from, again, like friends to sisters-in-law to neighbors as they watched this relationship evolve? What have they said? What did they think?
You go ahead.
You talk too much?
Go ahead.
No. I mean, I don't know. They've always been really, supportive, and, they know. They haven't really said, I mean, I think they probably, think my mom says sometimes, she can't believe it that, that concert kind of all started, that we'd still be, friends and everything. But so
That's pretty
they're
incredible.
supportive.
And my mom's no longer with us, but she would always, I would get so mad at her because she would say, it's just a phase. You liking new kids is just a phase. Your friendship with Jami is just a phase. You'll stop talking to her. I don't think anybody really fathomed that this would still be happening 33 years this year that we've been
33.
friends.
It's so
Did you see the comments, what Bailey just said? She said she said that I am her second mom, even though I'm a little crazy.
Yeah, she
Well,
called you slightly crazy as well.
It's crazy.
That is so sweet.
I'm the more wild one. She's the little bit more
we are completely
opposite.
Completely opposite.
Total opposites. Complete opposites.
love it. Okay, so what are both of your individual Blockhead legendary moments so far in your, 33 years of fandom?
Well, mine's her. I met her. So she's my, she knows everything about me. I tell her everything,
She tells me too much.
Tell her probably too much. But mine would be so I'm the sentimental one.
Yes,
She'll
she is.
probably say something different.
She's mushy. I'm so not.
I'm the crier.
Aside from meeting my sister,
Yes.
probably the biggest thing, other than my very first Iowa State Fair show, was the first reunion show that I saw in Chicago.
Right.
You could feel the energy in the air. It was just like electric. It was so amazing. And that feeling that you got when they came out on stage again for the first time in 15 years or whatever that they were gone.
Yeah.
Was just, you can't replace that feeling. It was so exciting, and I screamed like a little girl, and it just gave me such a great feeling. And I think that's probably, I've been to so many shows before that and so many after.
Yeah.
But that one really sticks out.
Be
And meeting Jordan when he was touring solo. I've met him a couple of times, so that was awesome.
Jami, were you there for that concert, that reunion concert, or first reunion concert in Chicago that Heidi was talking about?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I didn't go. She went with twin number one.
Oh.
She didn't come. She was supposed to come, but she didn't come.
That's okay. That's okay.
To other reunion
but
shows
we go
after.
to all of them. Anytime they're here, we go. In Kansas City. Twice.
I'll see you in Omaha next time, because that's the concert. Omaha or Lincoln is normally the concert that I go to, and then Minneapolis. So we'll plan on one of those, or at the Iowa State Fair, obviously, because that's going to be. And my baby sister, my twin sister will not. I'm a twin. I don't think we've ever even mentioned that. I have a twin sister. I have a baby sister. We're going to the Iowa State Fair together, so we'll plan on there. But what do you guys have planned for like the future? Are you going to BlockCon at all?
Not going to
Not going to
BlockCon.
BlockCon, but
The only thing in the immediate future is the fair show.
State Fair.
State Fair show. And definitely in Jordan's interview with Lance, he did say that they are working on a new album and a tour for 24.
Right.
So there's got to be some shows there that we're going to catch. So
yeah.
Awesome.
looking forward to that.
Yeah. For
Can,
sure.
the three of you, can you tell me, how did you find each other? Like, Ashley kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'm not exactly clear.
Well, I'll let you guys maybe explain it. Heidi and I met through TikTok. I had posted a video, and she just, in the comments, was like, hey, here's my story. And I was like, wait a second, what?
Well,
Oh, you remember Heidi?
yes, because your TikTok was talking about you were going to Florida to be with someone that you became friends with because of, I think, a cruise, New Kids Cruise.
Yes.
And you were saying about how you just knew that that was, you know, a great friend. And I just said, I understand that. I've been there. That's me. So, and then we just kind of started to chat a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or as Jamie would like to say, I had to open my big mouth.
I was like, now you got me doing interviews on Instagram.
Here you get mercy.
I survived, so it wasn't so bad.
You did.
I'm famous now. I told my kids, I said before, you're going to talk to me, but after you're done tonight, I'm famous.
Right. They're going to have to schedule an appointment or go through your agent or something.
Exactly.
Heidi could be your agent.
Yeah.
Our people talk to your people.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's well, because, like, again, we've mentioned this a few times, but Ashley and I did our very, very first Blockhead U. We were using a different name over on TikTok. And we've kind of connected with some other prospective guests over on TikTok as well too, and brought them over here. So, you know, if people aren't on TikTok, it's a great place to be as well for new kids content.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming that are the two of you active on TikTok? Do you like post content, or do you mostly just watch?
She does.
I do a little, but usually it's all related to my daughter and I have a side business where we make things and we go live on TikTok.
Okay.
Bailey's got a really large, to me, it's a really large following, and so everybody knows me. They just know I'm mom. So I go live like a lot of the things that I make and whatever, but every once in a while a little new kids thing will slip in, but mainly it's just for the side business. But
Yeah. And I don't post. I just watch TikToks.
You just watch. Well, the algorithm knows what kind of content you like, you like, and that you actually watch. And if it's a lot of new kids content, it'll keep feeding you that. So I'm so pleased that Ashley was able to connect with you, and that you shared that little piece of information on her TikTok, and that you were willing to come and chat with us, because, like, just by judging by the comments, that people have been posting as your stories been unfolding during your interview. People are just like in awe of, you know, how your story started, you know, back in the day, and where you guys are now. And it's such a cool connection. It's such a cool story.
we're pretty thankful for it.
I'm thankful for it. I couldn't live without it. So.
You can what? I missed that. What did she say?
No, she's being mushy again. She couldn't live with.
Aw.
I'm just trying to get all my nice stuff in so I can be mean to her after we get off here.
Luckily, you don't have far to go. You don't have far to go home, right? So.
Nope, just across the
Just
street.
across the street. I might drive her. She might not feel like walking.
We'll pick out a CD for the drive. I don't think they make CDs anymore.
No, you're
We're
old.
so old.
We stream now. Jeez, Heidi.
Oh, well.
We're grateful that you guys dealt with our technical difficulties and stuck around so we could have this conversation, share your story with everyone, because that's, you know, just a fun thing and such a great story. And I would encourage you guys on TikTok, there's a huge new kids community. Share your story, because it's very cool and unique. And I think a lot of people would love to hear it.
Yeah, we might.
Maybe. We'll make a video. We'll make Bailey.
Yeah, we'll have Bailey do it.
Hear that?
She sounds like an expert. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna let you go, and actually, you don't have to worry about any of the technical stuff. I'll take you down. Okay.
Okay. Thanks
All
for having
right.
us.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, Jamie. Bye, Heidi. Bye. Yay.
Isn't that the joy of social media? Is like you randomly come across these really cool, unique people and stories, and like, who would have thought in 1990 they would meet and then marry twins and live across the street from each other because of New Kids on the Block? Like, that's insane.
Like their entire life's trajectory started at that New Kids concert way up there in the nosebleeds. Thanks to a couple, Binocular and Biscuit.
Well, so this is a perfect example for everyone watching right now that if you have any story whatsoever about being a New Kids fan, whether you've met them, whether you're a new fan, whether you're a fan from 1990 who married your best friend who also married a twin, like we love these stories, and we encourage you to reach out to us and tell us your story, because if Heidi hadn't commented on my TikTok, we would never have heard this. So reach out. We love it.
Yeah, you know what? I think between the two of us, more so Ashley, we know a bunch of blockheads, but there's so many out there. We know there's a million sisters, right?
Yep.
And brothers that we don't know. And we'd love to know your story and share it with other people who watch this live. So please reach out and let us know, and we can go from there.
Yes. So that being said,
Yes.
Share your stories. We're trying to come up with our next plethora of opportunities to share them on Wednesday nights at 8 Central East, or 9 Pacific. No, 8 Central. 9 East. I still can't do it.
9 Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific. We do this every Wednesday, but actually, a programming notice, Ashley and I, we're going to take a little break for the remainder of April, right? So Blockhead U, kind of like our spring break, or if you're in Canada, this is our reading week. We're going to take 2 weeks off, and we are going to be back with Blockhead U at the beginning of May. I think that's May 3rd. I've already got it, programmed in my Instagram. You should be able to see to my bio and set a reminder for yourself now. But yeah, we're gonna be kicking it on our own on Wednesday nights, not doing Blockhead U and taking a little break. But we already have a couple of guests lined up. We have our feelers out, and trust us, we're planning, and we're looking forward to picking this up. There is only 1 week left in April. No, there isn't. Wait, today there's the 19th and the 26th. We're going to be back on May 3rd.
Us, we're taking a break. Don't make it seem like it's 2 weeks. We're taking a 2 week break. We'll be back the 3rd week.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
yes. So, Ashley and I are still going to be, Ashley's going to be posting in her gacky stuff. I'm still going to be posting pictures of my dog and stupid TikToks that I see. So please, keep in touch. Oh,
yes.
Ashley?
Yes. In the meantime, if you have a story that you've been thinking I want to share, but I'm afraid for some reason to talk to us, send us your story, no matter how big or small you think it is. We're looking for any opportunity to continue the Blockhead love of how you became Blockhead, your most legendary moment, whether it's meeting a new kid or not. We're here for it. So continue to share your stories. And while we're even gone for 2 weeks, please go to the little arrow up on the top of the left-hand corner. Follow Melanie. Follow myself if you are not. My name's Ashley. It says Gacky Girls, but that's a whole nother thing. But
maybe that's something you can do for us in the next couple of weeks is explain.
I'll do some reels. I'm like Daddy called us TikTokers. I'm like, what is it called? It's a reels. Okay, it's a reels. I'll do some reels. But we're here for your stories. We're going to continue to do this. We're just going to take a little break, reconnect with you guys, and come back bigger and better than ever.
Ooh, wow.
Maybe I'll upgrade.
Pressure's on. Pressure's on. And listen, if you haven't, we have done, we were trying to do the math. I think we've done 26 of these in a row, okay? Straight since we got back from the cruise. So there are plenty of lives that you can watch as replays. If you go to the link in my bio, in my link tree, it has all of them listed there so you can catch up and get to know and familiarize yourself with some other blockheads who've been on the live, some of our other guests. Donnie's been here a couple of times. Joe's been here, I think, for about 5 seconds, and I'm counting it, right? But that should keep you satiated for the next couple of weeks, and we will see you at the beginning of May. Yes.
Yes. So good. Oh, someone just said, where can I find you on TikTok? My TikTok is ambiguous. It's Smashly Bart.
Again, maybe you can clarify that in your stories after this and put a little
Follow
link.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow the link. Follow Melanie. She has all of our past episodes linked in her video. It's a second over when you go on her bio or your page. It's like the little second. It's like a little square with a thing in it. I don't know how to describe it, but
I think it's easier if you just tell people to go to the link because some of the lives are in your account. So just go to the link in my bio. Okay.
You're so much better at Instagram than I am. So yes, go to the link in Melanie's bio for all the videos, and then follow Gacky Girls, and we post videos from my TikTok all the time, and then you can kind of link over there to see what's going on. So
perfect. All right. So that said, I think we're going to sign off. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm obviously drinking water.
You're what?
I was in the sun today trying to enjoy the temperature. So I'm I'm so dehydrated right now. And I'm going to go drink more water and go to bed. So thank you.
You keep sipping on your water. I'll say goodnight to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And as usual, for putting up with the technical challenges. We will see you in 2 weeks. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.